Hi, I'm horror author Paul Edwards. Tonight, I'm reading Famous Monsters of Filmland, issue 95 from 1973. I thought you might enjoy flipping through this vintage magazine with me. Together, let's see what kinds of monster kid goodness is in here. Famous Monsters of Filmland, issue 95 from 1973. Guess what happened to Count Dracula? Plus, new Dr. Phibes, new Planet of the Apes, new Blackula. Wow. All right, let's dive in. Hotline to Horror. Here's our Fang mail. All right, let's see what we're in for this issue. Ooh, Attack of the Giant Insects. And look, it's got 12 pages of coverage. That should be pretty good. Dr. Phibes rises again. Oh boy. All right. Nice. Do you recognize which giant bug movie this is from? There were a lot of them in the 50s. That's from Beginning of the End. Thief of Baghdad. The Silent Earth. I don't know, is the Metaluna mutant really an insect monster? I guess. I don't know, I thought of it before. The monster that challenged the world. Almost certainly the only giant mollusk movie you'll ever see. This I don't get at all. Don't step on it, it may be Lon Chaney. That was the warning received by the world in the 20s during the reign of the Man of a Thousand Faces. Well, Lon Chaney was the Man of a Thousand Faces, for sure. But I don't get it. If you get it, explain it to me in the comments. Maybe I'm a little dense. Oh, Incredible Shrinking Man. Here, this was a twist on the trope of giant insects because the guy was made small and a normal sized spider was gigantic to him. The Deadly Mantis, 1957. 1957 was the banner year for giant bug movies. There were, I think it might have been 6 of them that came out in 1957. I'm probably the only person I know that prefers this fly monster from Return of the Fly over the Hedison one from the original The Fly. I like the oversized head to show you just how monstrous and malignant this deformity is. Oh, this was current at the time this magazine came out, The Deadly Bees. Well, the queen of all giant bugs, Mothra. The bee from Mysterious Island. Meanwhile, they're giving an honorable mention to others that they don't picture here. Like Son of Godzilla had 2 different sets of bugs. It had the giant spider, Spiga, also called Kumunga, and it had the Kamacuras. Yikes. Oh, First Men in the Moon. Yep. People talk nowadays about how the Halloween franchise has a screwed up timeline because it has different, different continuities. Planet of the Apes was a hard franchise to follow in terms of continuity if you weren't really up on it. Because at the beginning of movie number 3, they traveled back in time, and then from that point forward, they were going through the near future to show how the world became the Planet of the Apes. So, if I'm remembering right, Conquest was the one that was set in the 1990s. This is one thing that I've noticed about science fiction especially, but anything that's set in the future. You really shouldn't specify a year because your property becomes dated much faster than you realize it's going to. When they made these movies, I think it might have been 1991 was the year that this one was set. That sounded like the distant future. Well, 1991 is before a lot of you watching this video were even born. So you can set things in the future, that's fine. But I suggest you never give an actual year because it can always feel like it's in the near future if you don't specify what year it is. Yep. Oh, Caesar. You future leader of the Ape Rebellion. The apes are revolting. Did you ever hear of a left-handed ape? Oh my gosh. The one scene that I like the best out of the whole Planet of the Apes franchise is in the beginning of the third film, Escape from the Planet of the Apes, where the humans are going to recover a space capsule that has landed back on Earth, a NASA space capsule, and they open it up and out come the astronauts, but the astronauts are not the human astronauts who left. The astronauts are apes. And the humans are just flabbergasted at the sight of these apes coming out, going, what the? That was a good freak out moment. You asked for it. Of course, we got Lionel Atwill. Okay. Now, in a similar picture previously, I made a mistake, and several of you caught it. So let's make sure I get this right, okay? Basil Rathbone, Bela Lugosi, Lon Chaney Jr., of course, David Carradine. This actor up here, Akeem Tamiroff, but I only know that because it tells us here. I wouldn't have got that without the captions. Yeah. This is very misleading. So the beast with a million eyes, he was a space alien. He didn't have a million eyes. What he had was the ability to see through the minds of lower life forms, like cats and birds and things like that. So in that sense, he was the beast with a million eyes, as in he had eyes everywhere. But it wasn't like there was a monster sitting there with a million eyeballs on it. And that's a shame, because I would have liked to have seen that. Black Sunday. The Addams Family, of course. Oh, the Devil's Own. Yep. Yikes. Is this Curse of the Faceless Man? That would be my guess. Let's see. Yep. Boris Karloff and Basil Rathbone in one of the versions of Tower of London. This was the 1930s version. You get heroes and monsters and spacemen. Wow. Last month's mystery photo answer. Okay, I know some people swear by The Abominable Dr. Phibes and Dr. Phibes Rises Again, starring Vincent Price. They're good, but some people think this is Vincent Price's best set of movies. To me, that's a stretch. Dr. Phibes was another one, like the Jigsaw Killer in Saw, who could come up with wacky, outrageous methods of committing murder. Isn't this Robert Quarry? I remember not being able to figure out, watching these movies, whether Volnavia was a human being or a robot that Phibes had invented, because it really could have gone either way. At least it confused me as a kid. Oh, yeah. Ah! Ugh. You got something in your eye, buddy. Can you guess what happened to Count Dracula? Do you dare? I have no memory of this at all. Guess what happened to Count Dracula? Originally titled Whatever Happened to Count Dracula, and later The Master of the Dungeon. Nope. I'm sure I've never seen this. Even I can't have seen everything. If you've seen it, let us know in the comments, will you? Bring us up to speed, because I'm no help on that one. I probably could do all right on this, though. Can you outwit Dr. Acula? That's Forrest J. Ackerman. And it's a quiz on monster movies. Here, I'll put it up here, so if you're really into it, you can get a screen grab of it. And if the answers elude you, they're printed upside down here. I'll take one of them. Number 5, The Amazing Colossal Man was the sequel to War of the Colossal Beast. True or false? False. It was the other way around. The Amazing Colossal Man was the first movie. The sequel was War of the Colossal Beast. Elsa Lanchester played the Bride of Frankenstein. True or false? True. That was an easy one. But some of these are not easy. Revenge of the Creature was the third in the Creature from the Black Lagoon series, following The Return of the Creature. True or false? That's false. There was no such film as Return of the Creature. Film number 1 was Creature from the Black Lagoon. Film number 2 was Revenge of the Creature. And then number 3 was The Creature Walks Among Us. All right. This is actually a good one. True or false? Fay Wray and Vincent Price co-starred in The Mystery of the Wax Museum. Do you know the answer to this? If you've been following my channel since the beginning, you would know the answer, because I did a piece on Mystery of the Wax Museum early on. It's false. Fay Wray was in The Mystery of the Wax Museum from 1932. Vincent Price was in the remake House of Wax. He was not in the Mystery of the Wax Museum. That was Lionel Atwill. Oh, I did pretty good this time. Oh gosh, look at this kid. That's awesome. Look, they're the Gorespondents. And here are the Lashified ads. Oh my gosh. Corey was in full Forey J. Ackerman mode. Okay. Well, no, wait a minute. It's an ad for the magazine that we're reading. What the heck? I'm just going to let this speak for itself. If you're not familiar, Blackula was a blaxploitation movie character. He was not African American. He was an African Transylvanian vampire, and he had two movies, Blackula and then Scream, Blackula, Scream. What's funny is that the guy who played Blackula was this classically trained Shakespearean actor named William Marshall. He was a truly great actor, and but he was Blackula. Scream, Blackula, Scream. Yikes. Oh, monster movie posters. Oh, I have this one up in my home office. You've seen this on others of my videos. It's up on my wall. Send away for your 8mm or Super 8 home movies. Movie Monster kits. Did you have any of these? Did you have all of these? I know some of you have told me in the comments you had a lot of them. The only one I had was Godzilla. The Night Stalker. Vampire Loose in Las Vegas. That's the Carl Kolchak. Well, this is the movie, I guess, that piloted the TV series. Ooh, original posters. This is something we haven't seen in other issues. A 6-foot Vampirella poster to hang on the back of your bedroom door. I don't know, man. Beautiful or terrifying? Or both? If you enjoy classic monsters and vintage horror, you should check out my book series, the Mourner's Woods books. I'm self-published on Amazon. I've written a series of novels that take place in a haunted forest, Mourner's Woods. Japan has its suicide forest. Mourner's Woods is America's homicide forest. I'll drop a link to my books in the description for this video. My books again are the Mourner's Woods books. My name is Paul Edwards. Thanks for spending some time with me looking through Famous Monsters of Filmland, issue 95. I'll see you in Mourner's Woods.